drape. Nobody could get that drape. So eventually, we had to stitch it on me, and I was like, how did she even dance in that sari? Brahmachari. And it's a very iconic. It's like sari which goes with the golden border. And I was like, that construction of it cannot happen now because there were no pleats on it, and it gave her a very almost, because she had a curvaceous body, it gave her that silhouette. And what I loved about her was that she designed for the actor's body.
Absolutely.
So that is very, very important. It is not only about, yes, the period matters a lot, but to design, where does the hem go, where does the waistline end, where does it start? That, I think, is key.
Yeah. Shruti, thanks, Shivan. Shruti, you've designed in Jubilee, which is taking people back onto history of the 50s, 60s. I was seeing a lot of costumes of what Sadhna was wearing, or all those actresses, the churidar and the tight fitting is what Sonam is talking about. That was so contemporary, and when you compare it today, how do you look at that evolution, especially her work?
I think what she did with her work was she kept pushing barriers and boundaries with every silhouette and every character, though as much as the actor's body type plus silhouette, fabric, she never, I think she worked for the character and the film. So I just feel like now, back then they were very daring. Trust me, they're very, with the silhouettes that she introduced, for that era, that time, it was quite daring. Now I think we all are like floating in the same boat.
But she's spoken a lot about fabric too. I mean, there are two aspects of her which I really caught my attention. One is, of course, the use of georgette, which I said. Second is, if you see Reshma or Shera, or if you see later the Khan, of course, but the early period, her work with the Indian handicrafts, or going to the villages, finding those colors. Reshma or Shera was such a revolution for me because it was so authentic. Vaida ji wearing all that jewelry, that kind of costume. People never dressed you like that because it was still the period of the 70s where you had, at the same time, she did Buddha Media with Vijayanti Bala, which I was shocked to see Vijayanti Bala in that costume. I couldn't believe that she would be wearing that. How do you look at that aspect of it?
I think it's mind-blowing because the amount of research that she did when it comes to embroidery, jewelry, everything is spectacular. It is amazing. Women were not quite that daring to wear those kind of clothes, but she pushed that barrier.
The barriers, she's moved. But what is that one quality? It's not just about, is it the sense of, not just the dressing of tight fitting, is the sense, but also the sense of colors, which I think is so important because I read that in the book itself that she was matching it to the roses, How do you look at that?
I think we can speak about Sir's film.
Yeah.
There is if you see the film and the way it's been shot, it never, nobody ever seems, whether it's the background, whether it's the cinematography, whether it's the costume, it's almost sir, I shouldn't be talking about your film like that, but it was just what I remember from the film is nothing ever, everything stood out, but nothing ever stood out.
Yeah.
And I think that is just brilliant. That means everybody was in synergy, including the costume designer, including the actors who were willing to wear what the costume designer gave, including the DOP, including the art director, including the director. I think that is a testament to every person on that set. So just looking at Sir's film, whether it was, because there were two distinct styles. There was Western clothing and then there was Eastern clothing. And they all kind of came together. It never looked like they were in two different worlds. And that I thought was brilliant.
Yeah, I think it's tremendous because you do both ranges,
Yes.
which is very rare for costume designers because
Exactly.
you normally pick what is good in Western or what is
Yes.
good in thing. Ashu, that also brings the point of the fact that keeping the director's vision, while Sonam is saying that she kept the colors and thing, but was it the vision of yours? Because finally you're the filmmaker, you have a vision which you want. How close was she to your vision?
If I may say that she was absolutely, after hearing the narration and after doing the sessions where she's trying to absorb what the vision of the script is and what you're trying to say as a story, when she came up with the design, she was always bang on the first one. There was never any back and forth in which I'm saying to her that ये थोड़ा सा change कर दीजिए, ये ऐसा नहीं होगा, वैसा नहीं होगा. She was always bang on, and apart from the silhouette and all of that, she had a great sense of drama. She knew how to take a character and give it that one little thrust, which makes that entire outfit look stand out for the character, make a mark. Is, for example, Swades. When we moved on to Swades from Lagan, here is a costume designer who's done Reshma or Shera, and she's done Lakin, and she's done the village thing. But still, she wants to once again, when we went to Bhuj, she wanted to go to all the neighboring villages of Bhuj, look at how the people are dressing, try and take from them, absorb from that, create the silhouette for Swades, for Lagan. And for Swades, it was a village again, it was contemporary. And we had to first create a silhouette for Mohan Bhargav. Not once did we think about, here we have a star who's going to play this character and we should do something to cater to him. No, our approach was that, what is Mohan Bhargav? What does he require? And then how Shah Rukh seamlessly fits into that and comes in. So her sense of, if I may just add a little bit over here, if you look at the 60s and the 70s, she was popular with not only the actors and the actresses, but she was also popular with the producers and the directors. Which means a very big thing because those are all huge filmmakers. So there was a certain process, a method of functioning, absolutely gentle soul. If you interact with her,
Yeah.
she was a woman of very few words, but they were very measured, very firm, and very definite. So I think that was something which was really a part of her persona, which came into her movies. And if I may, on a closing note of mine, if I may add, here is a person who's done Ali Baba Charlie's Chor,
Yeah.
fantasy, Soni Mahiwal, which is a little love story. And from here, she goes to the West and does a very subtle version of Gandhi.
Yeah.
How does that happen? A person who is all the time creating these larger than life looks for so many heroines and song and dance, now is doing Gandhi. I think that's an outstanding transition which she